Hello guys, today we'll be configuring DHCP on a Windows Server 2019. So first what we'll need to do is go to Manage and click Add Roles. Now we'll need to click Next and Next again, and we don't need to create another virtual hard disk, so we can click Next. And on Roles and Features, what we'll want to do is click DHCP Server and click Add Features. Click Continue. It's okay, we'll configure them later. Just click Continue and click Next. Click Next again and keep clicking Next. Now what we want to do is click Start Root Estimate if required. Click Install. Okay guys, once it's downloaded we'll need to complete the configuration, so let's click on this link here and complete. So it says it wants us to commit, so we press the button, press closed, and DHCP configuration has been done. So now what we want to do, click the Windows icon and click DHCP. It'll take us there to DHCP. Now we want to add its scope. So we'll click open up IPv4 and we'll go on server, on policies, and we'll want to click IPv4 and click new scope and click next. Name the scope whatever you want. For me I'll name it test A. Now for the start range, what you want to do is open up your CMD and type in ipconfig to see your start range. So now what we want to do is 10.2.5 for me, as that's the static IP address that I configured. .1.2.5.4, and the length I want it to be the type C IP address, so I'll just make this 255.255 and click next. Now for exclusions is IP addresses that you don't want to give out onto the network to specific devices. Like these could be reserved for routers, PCs and other servers. So what I'll do is 10.2.1, as I want to reserve these IP addresses, and let's just do it to 10.2.14 as an example, or 15 will be better. Let's click add, and this will be our exclusion range, the IP addresses that won't be given out by the DHCP server. And let's click next. This will be how long deletions will last. We can configure this to any time we want. For example, we'll just put it to 8 hours. So after 8 hours, they'll have to request for a new IP address from the server. Let's click next. Yes, we'll configure these options now. Your default gateway will be in your command prompt. Mine is here, so I'll put my IP addresses. You should put your default gateway in. 2.2. Let's click next. Let's add that first, then click next. Now DNS server, I've already statically assigned them, so I'll just, this is my DHCP server. Well, this is the Windows server that I'm on, as it'll point to itself, as I want this server to also be the DHCP, well, the DNS server. And this is Google's DNS server as a backup. So let's click next. WINS is an old protocol, we don't need to worry about that, so let's just skip that. And yes, we want to activate the scope now. There we go, the scope, there's the pools, and those are the excluded addresses. So if you haven't configured your own static IP address, I'll show you how to. So what you want to do is just go to network status and click change adapter settings. and double click Ethernet and go to properties, and you'd want to double click IPv4. IPv6 will be enabled as well, but I don't want to configure IPv6, so I just untick that. So what you want to do is double click IPv4, and these are the IP addresses. Make sure on your DHCP server that they're static IP addresses. This is the server IP address, as I want this to also be a DNS server. These are the configurations here, and this is just Google's DNS server as a backup. Just click OK on all the tabs and close them. Now we have this up, we'd want to set up the client, the Windows client IP address. So let's open VirtualBox up and open this. Now guys, once you open up your Windows client machine, what you'd want to do is go to the command. Well, first you want to open up the internet icon. Now click network and internet settings. Now once that's opened, you'd want to scroll down to change adapter settings. Make sure the settings are right. Double click Ethernet. Now you'd want to double click properties. Make sure IPv6 is turned off, as we don't want to configure that. Double click IPv4 and make sure obtain a IP address automatically is enabled. Click OK, close that window, close the rest. Now we want to go to the CMD. Just type in CMD, click enter, type in ipconfig, and as we can see we have an IP address. Just type in ipconfig/all to see, and we can see our DHCP server here and our DNS server. Let's see if you can ping the Windows server. Type in the IP address of your server. This is my server's IP address, so I'm going to be pinging that. May take a while. Actually, it might be because of the firewall settings that it's not working, so you might need to change the firewall settings. It's probably the issue. So what you need to do is go to firewall and change the settings there. Network firewall, you want to turn. You wouldn't want to do this on a real network. Since I'm on an internal network that's not connected to the internet, it's not really that big of an issue. But for demonstration purposes, I'll show you how it works. Turned off a bit loud. So let's click back and just turn these off. In a real network, you wouldn't want to do this, but since it's an internal network that's not connected to the internet, there's not really much of an issue with these being off. Just to show you that we can ping the actual domain server. So let's go to the domain server and let's go to the internet settings and turn off the firewalls. We should be able to ping them now. Let's go back to our client machine and let's ping the server again. See if that works. And as we can see, we get a ping response. Show that it does work. If you're struggling to get the IP address from the DHCP server, you can do ipconfig/renew, and you should just wait and it will ask for a new DHCP request from the server. And if you can't even connect to the net, you can't even get an IP address from the server still, you may need to go to VirtualBox and go to the settings and click the settings icon on both of the servers and make sure you change it to. You want to go to networks and you want to make sure it's on an internal network, not NAT, and you want to put this mode to all. And this will disconnect you from the internet, but you should be able to ping both of the devices. Make sure this setting is on both of the machines, and that's what you'll need for it to work. But that is how you do DHCP configuration on a Windows Server 2019. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It costs you nothing and it helps me so much.